start our first audience that quick and easy. So from here, what we're doing immediately on the spot is we're querying the table that you have connected to determine how many unique IDs, aka how many customers do we have connected that we can start to filter across. Again, mocked up data, so it's gonna be pretty clean, million customers ready to start segmenting. And what you can see here are all the filters that we just applied to show up on default. And so now start to think about what's an interesting audience, right? Maybe we want to look at who have purchased something in the last, 180 days. So let's start to think about recency. Then we want to start to think about, monetary here. So total purchase value of greater than, we'll say $50. As you can see, every time I make a filter over here, we're live querying in place to determine how many records fit the criteria that you've already just applied. So now live sizing is possible, right? You can start to experiment and think about, okay, well, am I targeting enough people for the efforts that I'm looking to put into for this upcoming campaign, right? You can make a decision very quickly on, hey, am I going to be targeting 100,000 people for this segment of people, or am I going to be targeting 10 people? And if it's 10, maybe we want to rethink the filters a bit to, expand and think for a greater audience. But great, yeah. So we already have, oh, sorry.
I was just going to mention one of the things we've seen with marketing partners that we've worked with, the marketing teams, when you give them the full power of the tables that you've connected here from Snowflake, instead of talking theoreticals, right? I was a marketing director at Anheuser-Busch before I joined Flywheel, and when we would write briefs, we'd go to the insights team and try to figure out who we should be targeting. Here, a lot of the folks will start in the tool and say, okay, we kind of know what our strategic opportunity is. Let's look at a few filters to figure out who we might want to target. And then you can very quickly iterate. So the first point of value is just getting marketers in the tool, being able to size audiences and determine who they should be targeting with their campaigns and getting some insights back from the tool immediately about those audiences. So I think this is low latency, hitting the warehouse directly is usually a big benefit that folks have told us, where getting these types of answers usually take a long time, either internally or with other tools that they've deployed on top of their data.
Yeah. And you actually reminded me of something there, Anthony. Speaking of insights, not only can we live size, but we can also provide you options to know more about your customer over time, right? So one thing we can do here quickly is just set up a nice little field on the right-hand side. It's going to remove my filters, but that's easy enough. It takes no time to get those back. But now as we start to add filters, right, not only can you live size and know how many people you're going to be targeting, you can also start to understand how much revenue or any other metric that your team may find important to know is actually also included with those customers, right? So now that we've sized down to 10,000, 10.5, great. We know how much revenue these people have brought in as well. We start to go back, total purchase value greater. We'll size it down a bit, greater than $20. Maybe he's opened up an email or is a social media follower of ours. Great. Now we have a pretty hyper-targeted audience, and maybe that's exactly what we're looking for. But now, again, because of those insights, right now we know it's 1,000 people that have spent a lot with our organization, not necessarily 1,000 people who may have not spent as much, right? Really giving you the power to make the decisions on, do I want to activate this audience or not, directly from the warehouse without having to know any SQL code to build this.